Watch a man get slapped with an insult in front of a crowd. Watch his face. If it doesn't move, if nothing in him reaches for a comeback, you're looking at something most people will never possess. Everyone thinks power is loud. The interruption, the raised voice, the last word in the room. That's not power. That's a leak. That's proof the outside world just reached inside your skull and pulled a string. React to everything, and you're not dominant. You're available. You've just told the world your peace has a price, and it's cheap. If that landed, drop unshakable below. Not for the algorithm, because naming it is the first move toward owning it. Marcus Aurelius wrote something in his private journal that guts modern hustle culture. You always have the option to have no opinion. Nothing outside you is entitled to your reaction. Leave it alone. Count how much of your day you hand away. The slow driver, the passive-aggressive email, the friend's subtle disrespect. Every flicker of anger you give them is a piece of your sovereignty gone. There are 3 mechanisms separating the reactive majority from the unbothered few. Once you see them, you can't unsee where you've been bleeding power for free. Mechanism 1, the vacuum. Someone provokes you. They're running a script, and the script only works if you complete it. Defense, justification, anger. Your reaction is the payment they're fishing for. Now picture the opposite. Their attack hits stillness. It doesn't land, it just hovers there, orphaned, belonging only to the person who threw it. The embarrassment doesn't touch you, it boomerangs. Diogenes lived this. A nobleman spat in his face to humiliate him in front of a crowd. Diogenes didn't wipe it off, didn't swing. He looked at the man and said, "I won't get angry, but I am debating whether I ought to be annoyed." That's it. That's the whole whipping. The nobleman got his public humiliation, just aimed at himself. Diogenes stayed anchored. Non-reaction isn't weakness. It's the most expensive form of restraint there is. The silence tells your opponent something no comeback ever could. Their opinion of you carries 0 weight in your calculus. Agitation says, "My ego needs defending." Calm says, "My ego was never yours to touch." So ask yourself, where have you been handing your battery to people who never earned the charge? You've already started proving to yourself you can hold a room's tension without flinching. That's not nothing. Most people quit at the first uncomfortable silence, which is exactly why the next mechanism is where the real separation happens. Mechanism 2, the speed of response. Watch anyone who feels cornered. They speed up, they talk over you, pitch rises, body leans in, words rush to fill air because silence feels like it might swallow them whole. The person who actually commands the room does the opposite. Confronted, they slow down. They let 2, 3, 4 seconds of dead silence sit in the air after a hostile question. 4 seconds feels like a small eternity to the untrained. To everyone watching, it reads as one thing: comfort. Not panic, not scrambling. Control. Robert Greene put it plainly: the more you speak, the more common you appear, and the less powerful you seem. The short answer, the delayed reply, the deliberate pause, these tell the room who actually sets its pace. Here's the cost nobody names. Every time you rush to explain yourself, you've just cast yourself as the subordinate, giving an account to a superior. You didn't lose the argument. You lost the frame, and the frame was the only thing that ever mattered. Every unearned justification is a small transfer of status you don't get back. Next time someone tries to rush you into a reaction, pause. One slow breath through the nose. Eyes locked, no fidgeting. Speak only when your voice drops low and even. Watch the room's center of gravity move toward you without you asking for it. The return. This is the whole game. Stripped down, the room doesn't hand power to the loudest voice. It hands power to the one who looked untouchable and meant it. Non-reaction removes the vacuum they needed. The pause removes the pace they needed. Do both, and there's nothing left for them to pull on. You opened this video already halfway there. You sat through silence. You stayed for the whole build instead of scrolling off at the first slow beat. That's the same muscle. You just used it without noticing. The people who master this aren't cold. They've just stopped paying interest on debts they never owed. Practice the pause today, once, in something small, and notice how much of the room quietly becomes yours. If this reframes something for you, you already know what to type below. And if you want to see exactly how this posture demolishes someone trying to manipulate you directly, that's the next loop, and it's already open.